Testing. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Welcome back to the second half of our doubleheader tonight. The men's Centralia College Blazers look to tip off against the Grace Harbor Chokers. Some important things to note coming into the game tonight. Grace Harbor's last game, they came out with the win against Pacific University. Centralia's last game, they lost to Umpqua. Coming in tonight, Centralia's leading scorer is Gilson at 20 points per game.
Another thing to notice that Centralia College's team is dominated by sophomores. There's only 4 freshmen on the roster, while Grace Harbor's team is majority is freshmen.
Hey, welcome to our men's game. Chokers and our Trailblazers. Introducing the starting lineup for the Chokers. A 6'6 freshman, number 11, Dylan Spencer. 6'3 freshman, 23, Jordan Garner. 6'6 freshman, 24, Art Ruffin. 6'7 sophomore, 34, Carl Fisher Jr. 6'3 freshman, 44, Cody Brimhall. And the Chokers, Matthew Vargas, the head coach. And the starting lineup for the Trailblazers. A 5'10 sophomore, number 2, Deontay Dixon. 6'3 sophomore, number 4, Colin Pringley. 6'1 sophomore, 20, Lim Murphy. 6'5 sophomore, 24, Marquise Gilson. And a 6' freshman, 33, Peyton Stanley. And the Blazers, Jason Moyer, Mr. Jonathan McMillan, and Connor Terry. The coaches.
As we get set to tip off here, just touch on what you were saying earlier, there's a lot of returning sophomores for the Blazers. Definitely look to have some good chemistry in the group.
And again, looking at the where players are coming from, Centralia has majority from Washington.
And Gilson wins the tip. And shot is blocked by Zaire Rofin. Shot from about 15 is good from Cody Brimhall. As the Chokers are on the board first. Shot inside is good as the Blazers look to come out and pressure in the backcourt. They quickly fade off as the Chokers bring the ball up the court. Get it to the right wing, open 3 is good for Spencer. Dixon up top, passes to the right wing. Prangley drives baseline, gets cut off. Pass gets tipped around to get it back up top. Turnover by the Blazers, and the Chokers get it into the right corner up ahead. They bring it back out and look to set up their offense. Get into the opposite corner, get it into the high post, shot just in front of the three-point line. Rebound secured by Gilson as he's going to take it up himself. Pass to the right wing to Murphy. We get back inside to Gilson. Back up top to Murphy, pass to the left. We get into the corner to Prangley, pump fakes, puts it on the deck, drives inside, and he gets the foul call.
foul on 34 Fisher, his first of the game.
This is the first shot, rims out. Second shot, bounces a few times and gets the roll. Chokers get the ball inbounded and the Blazers back off as they come up the court. They get set in their zone as the Chokers look to find something inside, and they do. 3-4 faces up, ball's tipped around in the backcourt. Last touched by the Chokers. Two on the low block, two up top. And Murphy has the ball up top. Passes it back to Dixon. He drives around. Ball gets tipped around. He gets it back out to Gilson. He puts it on the deck, pulls up from the stripe, lefts it short. Prangley managed to get to the rebound, gets it back inside to Gilson, kicks it outside. Three from the corner is good from Peyton Stanley. Chokers bringing the ball up the left side, taking directions from their coach. You get a pick up top, pass to the right wing. They're in the right corner, trying to get the defense to shift around and find an opening. They settle for an outside shot, bounces right into the hands of Ruffin. Foul on the Chokers. Ruffin picking up the foul. Dixon bringing the ball up court. Passes ahead of the trap, gets to Gilson. Cross-court skip to the left side to Murphy. He puts it on the baseline, finds Prangley just in front of the free throw line. Prangley managed to grab the ball, but appears there will be a violation of some sort. Levin's leaking out for the Chokers. Gardner up top of the ball. He gets a pick from Fisher Jr. Drives inside, left is short. Rebound for Fisher Jr. and he lays it in.
That was the first obvious notice of the height difference. There's at least a 6-inch difference between Centralia and the Chokers today. At least with their starting lineup.
Blazers can't corral the rebound, and the Chokers bringing it back up the court. They get it into the corner. Shot is too strong. Prangley fighting for the rebound. Wisely lets it go out of bounds. Dixon passes it off to the right wing. Murphy gets caught in the trap near half court. Launches it up ahead. Prangley goes and gets it. A fortunate tip. Left short. The 14-foot jumper. Garner calling out the play. He passes it to the left side to Brimall. Get it into the high post. Puts it on the deck. Good defense from Gilson without fouling. Get a second possession, though, as they work it into the corner, and they get it back outside. They got a mismatch inside. And a costly foul at the buzzer as the Blazers were playing good defense. Bailed out the Chokers. First shot is good for Zaire Ruffin.
First substitution of the half.
Second shot is good. Prangley inbounds the ball to Dixon, and coaches are telling Dixon to bring the ball up and push the pressure. They lob it up ahead to Gilson. Pass is too high and just out of the reach of Gilson. Certainly could have been a highlight moment there. As Murphy comes out and LeBrandon Price out of Lacey checks in. Chokers bring the ball up. Blazers back off out of their pressure, back into their zone. Lufen put it up, rebounded by the Blazers. Another shot outside, no good. Holyfield, the ball up top. Pass it back up to half court. Blazers trying to pressure any passing lanes to make it hard on the offense. Series of post moves, ball gets left short, bounces in and out of the rim. Last touched by the Chokers.
Hoff comes in for Stanley. Hoff is a native from Tootle Lake right here in this area. It's nice to see him on the floor. Out to Hoff, back to the right. We have a long three. Sinks it for three. Grace Harbor gets it right out to try and put the pressure back on. They bring up the left side of the court, down the middle. Back out to 24. Waiting, setting it up. Garner with the ball at the top. Hoff giving him pressure. Hoff is notoriously fast. A lot of pressure coming from Prangley. You got a wide open man on the outside. Is he going to put it up? We have 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Gets a wide open lane. Centralia gets it back, moving up the court.
Not going to get a much easier look than that as the defense just parted there on the baseline.
Goes right to Hoff. Hoff serving the floor. Right back to number 2. Hoff put it on the deck trying to get something happening. Puts up a shot. Draws the foul. Foul's going to be on Brimhall. It's his first of the half. Hoff is shooting the first of 2. Hits the first right in front of the rim. Looking for some reassurance from his teammates as he prepares to embark on the second.
Hoff out of Silver Lake is one of only 4 of the freshmen out here tonight with the Blazers, as we were saying earlier.
Sinks the second one. Grace Harbor looking to move up the court fast as the Centralia puts on a pressure on the full court. They break the press, getting a 2-on-1 on the backside baseline. That was a tough shot, rebounded by Centralia. Prangley takes it up court, looking ahead. Looking for Price. Price takes it in, kicks it out to Hoff. Hoff goes over back to Prangley. Sets a man up, puts it to Gilson on the outside. Gilson misses for about 15 feet. Grace Harbor trying to be aggressive, knocked away by Gilson. We're going to see what happens here on the side of the court.
May have ended up in a bucket there if Gilson didn't get that tip.
Yeah, risk versus reward. Definitely paid off for Centralia. Grace Harbor looks again and try and get one fast. They draw the foul. Looks like it's going to be on Gilson. We'll see here.
Looked like they were eyeing that back cut from the very beginning of the play.
They ended up calling that one on Hoff. He sinks the first of 2. Centralia enters this game. This is its first league game. Centralia coming in with the record of 10-5, while Grace Harbor enters with 8-6. And of course, as always, first league game jitters. And Hoff gets the and 1 from the outside in the left corner.
That was
He has an
a
opportunity for a 4-point play coming up here.
big momentum booster here early on when you can hit a very contested corner shot and get the foul call with that.
Especially if it would give you the lead.
And indeed it does. They go up 14-13. The pressure's still on. Red Sarver puts it up the court to number 22. Number 22 takes it under. Hits the bottom of the backboard. Trying to get it out now just to see what they can do. A little bit out of control. Draws a foul. Looks like on the arm shooting two. Ruffin will be at the line.
Looks like that's the first foul on Price. Chokers with 4 fouls and the Blazers with 3.
Sinks the first of 2. Looking to make it perfect 2 for 2 for Ruffin. Sinks the second. Centralia looks to get up court fast. Isn't there. He has to take it back to the left of Prangley. Prangley misses it. Little tip back in for number. Hits it out to Price. Price sends it back. Sends it back to Dixon. Dixon takes it up the court. Trying to get a little bit of control. Gets poked out. Got a foul on the floor.
A lot of pressure coming here in the traps from the Chokers, resulting in a couple turnovers in the backcourt and half court.
Yeah, forcing the ball handler to make some tough decisions.
Yeah, they are playing quite aggressive right off the ball.
So it looks like we can get it from the baseline. Number 22, Watson, is going to be the one taking it for the Chokers. He's looking around. Doesn't find anybody, tries kicking it out to 24. 24 takes it inside. Nice bucket there for Ruffin.
Good job by Gilson there, not fouling as his arms were down initially, but he wisely pulled them back up and he went up for the shot.
Oh, lucky pass all the way through. Number 34, Fisher.
Can't get much luckier than tips like that.
Correction, that was 34, Ashmore. A contested call.
Coaches on the Choker side arguing that that was tipped, and indeed it was. They turn over the call.
We have Watson as the inbounder again.
And Chokers call a timeout.
Curious to see if they called that timeout, to see if they can get a quick bucket off the right out of the get-go, to see if they can get the momentum going their way even more.
It seemed like the very last second, the ball was about ready to be inbounded and the coach changed his mind. Suddenly came up with a play design.
You must see something that he thinks he can exploit. What do you think Centralia's coach is telling his guys?
What?
What do you think Centralia's coach is telling his guys?
Probably try to work it inside, just get easy looks. If a shooter's open, then get it to the shooter. Just basic offensive looks. Just try to get some momentum going here. 12:06 left in the quarter.
And probably also make sure they maintain possession of the ball when they do have it.
That's a good point. So Watson's here again. We're going to see the play that just drawn up. Got a little bit of a garbage dump down there. He takes it right inside. Has a tough land, gets the rebound. Draws the foul. We're going to see who this is on in a second.
So the play design from the beginning, it looked like was Ruffin to just post up on the free throw line and go to work down the post.
Yeah, the help came very fast. That last foul was on 23 Hoff. That's his second one. Ruffin hits the first. He's looking to get his second. He's been fantastic from the free throw line today. Two for two again. Centralia trying to get up fast before the pressure can mount against them. Murphy trying to get away out of it. Hits to Gilson. Gilson to Price. Murphy back to Hoff. Hoff sends it to Ashmore in the corner. Ashmore puts it up, gets the bucket.
Nice little spin pivot move there from Ashmore.
Grace Harbor Barnes bringing it up the floor. Passes ahead to Watson. Watson to Ruffin. Ruffin takes it inside, back out in the corner, back to Watson. Back to the left corner, down to the center of the court. It was a risky pass, a lot of hands. And one of them caught it. Murphy takes it down the court looking for something fast. Doesn't get it, ends up getting to Gilson. He gets a wide open way. Takes that block. Teammates help him up. He's gonna get 2 shots there.
Looked like he wanted to dunk that one, but defender just a bit too far out.
I believe that was Ridgeway, the defender.
Fouls on Ridgeway.
It looks like the Chokers are about to have a mass substitution of all 5 players.
Looks like their starters are coming back in. Take it back, Ruffin started, so Ruffin is taking his first break of the day. We're almost 9 minutes into the first half here. Gilson have a rough go on that second one there. Centralia trying to put some pressure on. Grace Harbor isn't really phased. Holyfield has the ball, down to the middle. Brimhall is trying to get it, gives it back to 23. Garner's looking around, gets a little pick and roll action, but it was weak, so. Have some movement of the feet, it looks like. Travel call on the floor. Price is going to throw it in here to Murphy. Murphy is trying to get it going fast. Stanley comes across the middle. Doesn't like what he sees, gives it back to Price, trying to get it out of here. Trying to get out of the trap. He does so. Right in the middle to Gilson. Gilson fans it to Ashmore. Ashmore sinks it for 2.
The perfect play design, get it into the high post and either face up and drive in or kick it out to the open shooter.
A very good shot, putting the Blazers ahead by 1 point at 22-21.
Garner comes through looking for a handoff. Doesn't quite get it. A little bit of miscommunication and some bumping in there. Price takes it up here. Gets it left to Murphy all the way out to the right corner for Gilson. Gilson overshoots that. Off the hands of Price. We have a sub coming. It looks like Ruffin's coming back in the game. We're going to sit Holyfield and put Ruffin back in the game. The pressure is on by Centralia with the full court press here. We have Gilson on the far back as a safety measure. Oh, he comes up now. Ruffin's looking in, and we got it in to Garner. Garner takes it up the court. Maybe something gets it right. Ooh, right across the middle. Okay. To Ruffin. Ruffin's looking around. Back to Garner. Garner's trying to set up his guys, see if we can get something going here. Looks like a set play going to Ruffin.
Some good pressure there up top from Murphy.
A high ball by Ruffin. Off the glass. Gilson brings it up. Kicks it out to Murphy. Murphy kicks it on the left. Decides he doesn't like what he sees. Kicks it back out. Gilson likes what he sees. Takes that 17-footer.
Gilson was thinking about that 3. Decided to take a couple steps in and take an easier one.
Murphy has the ball again. He's taking it up. Listen to his coach trying to get him set up in some sort of set here to get something going. All 4 high on the free throw line. All right, elevator door is shut. They were trying to get Peyton along the top of the arc there. Give him a nice, easy look for 3. He can definitely hit that. He has that potential. Ashmore misses from short. Got an ugly foul coming here from Gilson.
Definitely not the kind of foul you want to pick up in the backcourt, and easily avoided one.
Looks like they're going to rough and throw it in. It's different from Watson. Watson's usually the one throwing it for Grace Harbor. Ruffin trying to get it to Garner. Doesn't. Some heavy pressure from Murphy on Garner there. Garner brings it to the left, takes it to the top of the arc. Murphy is putting the pressure on him. He wants him to feel it. Garner goes back across. He takes it right, takes it in, goes up for a layup. It's a contested layup. It's really hard to make those ones. He brings it in again. Nice little hook shot. No, we got a travel called from the backcourt ref.
Good defense from Murphy there.
Yeah, putting the pressure on. Murphy now has to turn around and take the ball up court. He's probably going to try and keep it out of his hands since he's playing such difficult defense. Right to Murphy right back. We got Price coming up here. Price trying to get it to Stanley. Ends up getting a kickball.
Looked like a dangerous kick ball there. That one came off his foot quite quick.
Looks like Murphy's going to throw the ball in. You have number 0, Barnes, coming in. Looks like he's going to give Ruffin a break. Centralia not really subbing things in and out, just kind of staying with a steady 6. All right, out the top to Ashmore. Ashmore takes it right, looking for Murphy. Murphy is looking inside to Prangley. Up top to Stanley. Stanley sinks it for 3.
I believe that's his second 3 of the half now.
And they come right back with the press, too.
Brimhall wanted his own, didn't get it. Get a little tip back from Hollifield. Murphy's bringing up the left side of the court now. He feels the pressure. He's going to try and bring it back, but he lost all of his help. Price says right across the court, all the way back across to Ashmore. Ashmore takes it in, should get a layup. Ooh, makes it different. Price going in with the reverse. Doesn't quite get it, goes out on Fisher.
Yeah. Nice idea there from Ashmore to drive baseline as the shooter closed out. He had a step on him.
Looks like Murphy's going to throw it in here. Have a set here coming. It's Notre Dame, ladies and gentlemen. They ran Notre Dame. You see that from Pee Wee all the way to college. Prangley goes in there, puts a nice little hook shot up, gets 2. Barnes is taking it up, looks back, throws it back to Garner. Garner puts it back to Barnes. Barnes trying to get his guys in order. Gets it in the middle to Fisher. Fisher trying to take Ashmore down since he has a mismatch. Instead, Garner takes it in. Might have got that block. He does. He gets that and 1. Ashmore was in the perfect position to take a charge. He might have gotten that player control foul if he had taken that to the ground. We have a sub coming in here for the shooter, Ridgeway. Looks like he's trying to come in for Garner. Garner for the first. For his and 1. Can he make it a 3-point play? And he does. He converts, so Ridgeway comes in for Garner as Garner goes out on a high note.
Good way to capitalize, bring it within 1 point now.
We have a timeout called by Centralia, it looks like.
Both teams seem pretty evenly matched here so far in the first half. Blazers 27, Chokers 26.
True, and the height difference hasn't really been as noticeable as it was in that first 5 minutes. It was really prevalent, and then it kind of faded to the back. I wonder why that is.
The Blazers up to 7 fouls so far here in the half. The Chokers with 5, something to keep an eye on.
There's the loyal sweeping crew on the floor, making sure this floor is always in pristine condition for these players here today.
And they are doing an excellent job.
On my left here, I see the Grace Harbor coach drawing up a play. He really has something he wants to capitalize on. He's making sure his guys can see that.
Earlier, I heard him asking one of his players to shoot. They seem a bit timid in their system.
That's curious. Usually, experiences have me saying that people love to shoot the ball. So it's a little bit backwards to have a coach begging you to shoot. All right, Murphy brings it up to the left, gets it back to Dixon. Dixon takes it across half court and goes to the right to Stanley. Stanley back across to Murphy. He takes it up for 3.
Perfect cross-court skip there.
Ashmore gets that board and the putback. Hits out to Ridgeway. Ridgeway back to Barnes as Grace Harbor makes his way up the court. Ridgeway, the second most experienced ball handler on this court besides Garner. Garner's currently sitting on the bench. Ridgeway hits it into Fisher. Fisher sizes him up. Gets stripped by Dixon. Dixon takes it up the court, trying to get some 3-on-2 going. Murphy unable to capitalize, kicked out to Ashmore. Ashmore to the left to Dixon. Dixon swings it all the way to Prangley on the right. Prangley takes in for a difficult lane, can't really finish there. Barnes gets up to Ridgeway. Ridgeway's looking to push the tempo. Barnes inside to Fisher. Got that serious elbow in there. Might have to watch that one for later in the game. Nice turnaround Some great effort by Fisher to get that board, but unfortunately he stepped out of bounds.
Fisher definitely using his height there to tip the ball out, just couldn't quite get it.
And not only his height, he has some long arms. Dixon into Murphy. Murphy is looking to try and take it up the left side, trying to avoid the trap as you can feel it coming. He ends up splitting it, takes it all the way. Oh, he's a little bit out of control in that lane as Barnes tries to take it up the court. Sends it up to Fisher. Fisher trying to take a hero step. Doesn't quite finish, trying to tip it in.
Great defense there from Prangley without fouling.
Got a 3-on-1 coming. Prangley draws that foul. Some physical altercation on the court. The referees are not very happy with it. Trying to solve it early before it turns into something else.
Yeah, both sides definitely picking up on the aggression a little bit.
Prangley's here going to take the first of two. Looks like Price is coming in to sub in as well. And Hoff is coming in now. Prangley sinks the first. Hoff comes in for Stanley. Both have equal three-point shooting ability, so they're just making sure they can spread the floor, keeping those two interchanging so they can keep the defense spread out.
Appears one of the Chokers players has a cut. Taking officials' timeout to try and solve that.
And
Trying to figure out how to stop this bleeding.
the Chokers coach is unhappy.
The officials are asking for a sub to come in.
Ends up the solution is just looks like some toilet paper to the nose.
Just plug it.
It's a classic, a good one. I really hope it doesn't fall on somebody. That could be quite a unfortunate occurrence. Prangley is here to hit the second one. When he does it, it's off to the right. Ruffin gets the rebound, kicks it out to Barnes. Barnes takes it up the court, being guarded by Hoff. Hoff has some quick hands, just like that. He takes it in, takes it up the middle, just like that. He finishes on the lane.
Hoff definitely has some quickness to him.
Right over the top of Murphy. Hoff comes in and fouls.
Smart foul there from Hoff to make him earn him at the line. That would have been an easy lay-in.
Fortunately, I do believe that's 3 on Hoff. We're about to see, yeah, indeed.
That's definitely something to watch out for. Is Hoff has been a key guy in their rotation so far, hitting a few shots.
And as a freshman, it's phenomenal that he's vital to the team at the point they are right now. It looks
Game
like
really picked up when he had that 4-point play earlier in the half.
And his speed up and down the court has definitely been a factor here in the first half.
looks like they decided to save him for the second half. They resting him for now. Put in Stanley to
Probably
take that point of pressure and spread the floor with a three-point shooting ability. Ruffin misses that one. Murphy gets it, trying to pull it up the court fast. Looking to take it all the way, decides not to, pulls it back out, hits it up to Price. Price sees an opening, takes it in. Prangley sees one too. Prangley doesn't quite convert. Price fights for that rebound, doesn't quite get it. Kicks out to Ruffin, who is now our point guard. Kicks it back to Garner. Garner looking to take in a little floater. And Murphy takes an attempt for a play control foul. Doesn't get anything, not a block, not a charge. Garner ends up getting that board again, put it back in.
Unfortunate tip of the ball there as it bounced off several hands in the paint.
Foul here. .22, that's Watson. Watson with the push. And that's going to send Prangley to the line.
Looks like Gilson is standing by to come back in.
Prangley hits the first one, says it's one in the bonus. He gets his attempt at a second. Gilson comes in for Murphy.
Fans over here to our left really getting into it on the free throws.
Prangley's about to tip the second. Up and in. Just like clockwork. Gets it out to Garner. Garner looking up ahead. Decides not to pass to Ruffin. Has second thoughts. Does pass it to Ruffin. Ruffin decides to take it down the court. A little bit of a loss there, but ends up recovering and getting a nice little lane with his left hand. Dixon is having a little conversation with the coach before he quite takes it all the way up the court.
He's eyeing down a trap as he passes it off to the opposite side.
Stanley brings it in, sees something across the court, gets it to Dixon wide open.
Not going to get a better look from deep than that all night.
Nope.
No, that was his shot.
Garner takes it all the way in with a spinning athletic move. Can't quite finish as Dixon brings it out. Trying to get there before they can set up that pressure. And he does. Hits the left of Prangley. Prangley takes it right through the center of the key. Gets the block. I can't quite tell if the crowd agreed or disagreed with that call. It was a mixture of cheering and a little bit of booze.
Yeah, sometimes excitement's just excitement.
Either way, Prangley will get two at the line. Prangley living at the line today.
Yeah, Prangley's definitely one of those guys, energy guys, that definitely gets to the free throw line a lot. Can rely on him to get some energy boosting plays.
Prangley about to put the first one up. Oh, apparently that was one in the bonus. I misunderstood the
he
situation.
completed his 2-point shot.
Yeah,
Oh, it was an and one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad. Watson from the corner hits that. Seeks that one from the left corner, gets out to Prangley. Prangley's taking it up the court. A little bit of an issue with ball control. Decides to stop, gets it out to Price. Price is looking around, feels the pressure, tries to get across. Oh, nice bounce straight to Peyton Stanley, who can't convert on the look. He's on the ground, not surprised it's not a travel. We got a jump ball.
Dixon wisely going to grab the ball and cause a jump ball before he can get the pass off.
A little bit of confusion on where the possession arrow is supposed to be pointing. Looks like it's going to be the Chokers ball.
Looks like Fisher has returned to the Chokers bench, still with his nose plugged.
Looks like the Chokers are setting up for some sort of fast break. Gets to Ruffin. Ruffin's taking up the court. He's looking around, surveying the floor, trying to find a nice way to do this while Centralia sits in a 3-2 zone. Get it to Garner in the corner. Garner looking around, loses the ball, hits off the ref. Murphy capitalizes, taking that, trying to take the body to takes it to the rim. Count that one for two.
Be an assist by referee, perhaps.
That's a sweet dime to the ref there.
Assist goes to the ref. Garner's looking left, passes it off to Hollifield. Hollifield inside to Ruffin. Ruffin looking to size him up, take Dixon down. Definitely a size mismatch. Can't quite finish. Dixon's taking it back up the court. Passes it right to Stanley, back to Price, all the way to the swings to the left. Price taking it in, decides to attempt to finish. Gilson gets the rebound. Can't quite finish on that one too. Looked like he wanted a foul there, but didn't quite get the call from the baseline ref. Ruffin takes it all the way in, coast to coast. Doesn't fall for him. Hits up to Stanley. Stanley to Gilson. Gilson inside to Murphy. Murphy decides to size up opponent, takes it back. Pulls it back, trying to gets it right inside. Oh, that was almost an excellent pass from the perimeter down to the inside to Gilson. Instead, it just goes in the books as a turnover. They have the same thing again. Number 11 is going to go deep as Barnes takes the ball. Taking it up the court. Dixon's trying to put some pressure on him. A little bit confused at what the coach is trying to yell at him. Oh, right down the middle to Fisher, and then out to Watson. Watson takes a three.
A little inside-outside game, but couldn't quite connect on that one.
Rice takes it in, and speaking of that, takes it inside to Gilson, who converts. He's going to be going to the line for one shot with that N1.
Yeah, if you can get Gilson going in on the post, get a few shots down, definitely is going to help out the offense a lot.
Yeah, they definitely have had some trouble finding him inside. He sinks his one, and Blazers are done having their powwow with their coach, and they're ready to go.
Nonetheless, with that trouble with Gilson, they have a 41-34 lead over the Chokers with 2 minutes to go here.
Yeah, those in foul trouble need to stay out of foul trouble.
Wild pass up there on the top from the Chokers.
Questionable decision making. I'm sure it is something they'll try to fix in the future as Dixon brings it up the court. Dixon looks like a set play coming here, trying to get him. Looks like they're looking for a roll there with Gilson. Gilson's on the inside and already set himself up. Calls a foul on number 20. Murphy, I'm not sure where the contact was.
Centralia responding very negatively to that call.
Coach of Centralia having a word with that official who made that call from the backside of the court. As that call does bring us to the bonus again, giving Watson some free points if he can convert. And Watson puts it up, and he does, so he gets the bonus. There's a minute 48 left in the half. It's interesting to see how the pressure mounts from this point forward. Watson looking to go 2 for 2. Ball's up and it's in. Centralia definitely trying to push the ball all the way up the court, straight right out to a 3. Gilson on the back weak side does a heads up play, knocks it right off of Barnes. Centralia will get the ball back on the baseline, looks like. Dixon to throw it in. You have Gilson on the perimeter. Looks like they're setting one up for Stanley. Doesn't quite get it, so they look inside to Gilson. Gilson looking for a way out because he was having 2 people on him. Stanley decides to take a heat check. Doesn't get the tip in from Gilson. Play has been stopped because of a foul on Dixon. They called it a hold. Looks like his hands must have been on him as he was bringing him up the court. We're in the double bonus now, so Barnes is going to get 2 shots. Sinks the first. We had a sub there. Watson goes to the bench as Hollifield comes in. And Barnes sinks the second. They get up the corner fast again, looking to get to Stanley in the corner, and Stanley just wants to hit that.
It's kind of cooled off here after hitting a couple in the first half of this first half.
He definitely has the skill to hit those. Looks like an off night for him. Fisher puts that up from the top of the key. Murphy takes it down, looking to turn around fast. Decides to get inside the Price. Price puts that up quickly. A lot of hands, a lot of grabbing the jerseys, as you can see on the floor here today. Dixon putting the pressure on Barnes. Barnes hits it to number 11.
Now with inside the final minute of the half.
They call a hold on Gilson as he's fighting for post position down there in the key.
And that's the second on Gilson. 48 seconds to go here in the half.
2 is not too many to be worried about, though, as Fisher goes to put the first of 2. Sinks it, making the score 43-39. The Chokers have really closed the gap here in the last 5 minutes. Going from a 11-point lead to shrinking it to just now 4. As Fisher looks to make it 3. And he does.
Another tumble.
A little bit of a trip there on the court.
Gilson hopped right up to his feet on that one and just walked away as quick as he could from that.
They call that one on Dallin Spencer. That is his first of the half. And looks like Gilson will be shooting 2 down the other end because we are in the double bonus.
Yeah, no shortage of fouls this first half on either side. With 10 each.
So Gilson looks to put his team up by 4, and he does. Getting some positive reinforcement from his teammates down in the paint.
Franklin looks like he's about to check in for Gilson.
Since the second, Gilson looks like he's getting slightly heated, so probably want to sit in the last 48 seconds so he can gather his thoughts and really come into the second half prepared for what he can handle. Dixon trying to get Prangley in the right place as they put some pressure on. Ruffin have some issues trying to figure out where to go. Ends up getting to Garner. Garner goes across the court back to Ruffin. Ruffin takes it up to center. Trying to put a move on Murphy. Doesn't quite get it. Gets it out to Spencer. Spencer is long. Gets it to Stanley. And there is 37 seconds left as Price brings it up the court. Price looking, throws it left to Murphy. Murphy left to Prangley. Prangley in the corner. Drives with his right. Back to Stanley. Stanley puts it up for three. And he gets it. He's been looking for that one for the last 10 minutes.
That'll really do a lot for his confidence going into the second half, I think.
Indeed. Ruffin turns it over for, Dixon just throws it in the air, loses control of the ball, gets the tip, and it's definitely called back.
Fortunate there, it went off the chokers. Had a shooter wide open in the corner.
Price is the one to throw the ball, and they're probably going to look to get another three-point shot to Stanley. And he gets it. A little bit long on that one, off the backside of the rim. 9 seconds left as the chokers look to get one last shot, and Barnes takes it up the court. Ends up getting back up, throws it back in the backside of the court. That's 2.5 seconds for Centralia if they want to try and convert for a nice little...
Maybe one more look for Stanley before the half?
Yeah, I would try and get it to Stanley, see if he can find his rhythm.
Yeah, maybe one more shot.
At least as a first look to Stanley, then you might get one pass. One dribble, one pass. That's all the time you have. Ends up getting to Price. Price puts it up. It's a close one. So here are the end of the first half. Blazers up 48-40. A lot of fouls for that half. 10. They stopped recording at 10, but both teams ended in the double bonus as we enter halftime. We are waiting for our stats so we can give you the scoring leaders and some further information on that.
Definitely seemed like both teams have come out so far in this first half with a lot of energy. Even though the chokers are down 8 at the half, it seems like they're still a one-possession game.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely feels like the way it's playing, even though there's that 8-point difference, it feels like every basket's like a change of who's in the lead. There's definitely that kind of energy here on the floor.
I think Centralia's definitely been able to mitigate the height advantage that the chokers have by keeping them very close and constantly on the rush. They don't seem to be giving them any room to move.
Yeah, I agree with that analysis. And I think another way they're countering the height for the chokers is the Blazers are just fast. They're all extremely quick. And so that seems to be off-putting the lengthy chokers. And I think they're having an issue that I definitely think that'll be addressed in the chokers halftime things here. And we have the stats coming in here. And so our scoring leaders for Centralia is going to be tied between Peyton Stanley, who has 3 threes, and Tyler Ashmore off the bench, who has 4 field goals and 1 free throw. As for the chokers, it's a definite Ruffin is the points leader here with 11, which is a good sign for them. It means they've been getting inside of the post, as Ruffin seems to play most of the time in the paint.
Interesting to note here, there's definitely a lot of fouls in that first half. The chokers going 16 for 17 from the stripe as compared to Centralia's 10 for 15. So a bit of a lead there thanks to their bit of a lead in the free throw category.
Yeah, and I definitely think that's why they're still in this game. They've made it to the free throw line and they've converted when it mattered in regards to free throws.
They haven't attempted very many threes in comparison to the Blazers either.
Yeah,
2 for 7.
Indeed. Peyton Stanley alone for Centralia has attempted 10 three-pointers, so he definitely has the green light from his coach to send it flying. Also, another thing that's interesting is Grace Harbor, even though we talked about the mitigation of the height effect, they are out-rebounding Centralia by 10, 29 to 19 in the rebounding war there. That's definitely something that if Centralia wants to extend this lead to an even larger amount, they need to find a way to shrink that divide.
Yeah, it's really surprising to see a double-digit lead in rebounds, but the other team's still winning.
Indeed.
Yeah, Grace Harbor has not been able to capitalize on the rebounds that they have been able to take up to this point. We'll see if the speed can hold up for Centralia going into the second half.
Only one assist on Grace Harbor's end, so just shows that their offense could use a little bit more free-flowing and a little bit more passing.
Yeah, indeed. They've had a lot of their points just off of coast-to-coast drives where Centralia's retreating defense has issues picking up players.
Yeah, it's definitely something they want to take note when they come out of the locker room here in the second half.
Another thing to notice is that Centralia's bench has been absolutely fantastic in regards to scoring, notching 18 points between the three of them. That's just a great help for Centralia's starters. So and in regards to Grace Harbor's bench, which is just only 11 points, which is still a good number, but not quite.
All right, so about 11 minutes till we tip off the second half, and we'll be right back here.
back. We're here to start the second half. Blazers are again up 48-40 against the Chokers. And there's some eye-popping stats here. Marcus Gilson has been getting to the free throw line quite a bit. He's had 5 attempts and sunk 4 of those at the free throw line. So he's probably going to live there the second half. That's what I would expect.
Yeah, considering he is, I think, Centralia's best shooter so far during this season. It's kind of surprising they've been able to almost completely negate his ability up to this point, but we'll see. I think he'll become more alive in the second half.
Yeah, definitely can't count out Marcus coming in tonight, averaging 20 points a game. Sure, we're going to see more than 6 points in this half.
Let's see if we see as many fouls this half.
All right, and Murphy takes it in, hands it to Dixon. Dixon brings it up the court, looking right, sends it to Gilson. Gilson looking inside to Prangley. Prangley doesn't want it. Sends it back to Dixon. Dixon to the left to Murphy to the left wing. Right inside there, Prangley, I should say, takes it in, sinks that bucket off the glass. Nice touch. As Centralia looks to put some pressure on.
Good start to the second half for the Blazers.
Ruffin brings it up. He was the leading scorer of the first half, Ruffin here. Gets it to Garner. Garner left to Watson. Watson gets it again on the right corner. Gets it back to Ruffin. Ruffin looks inside to Fisher. Fisher trying to go one-on-one with Gilson. Gilson managed to escape that without a foul. Gets it up to Dixon. Dixon brings it up the court to the right. Gets it inside to Prangley. Prangley's looking around. Decides he wants to take it. Decides he doesn't like it. So kicks it out to Stanley. Stanley takes it in to the left. Takes to Murphy. Murphy takes the elbow shot. Sinks that. 2 for 2 on their shots here in the beginning. Watson takes it in. Gets a little bit of pressure. Gets it to Ruffin. Ruffin looking around. Swings it right to Garner. Garner's looking for it. Garner looks left to Watson. Watson at the top left's the key. You got Garner at the top. Trying to get his guys in order so he can run something. Sends Watson around the backside. He gets it. Looking for a 3-point shot. Trying to get Fisher to come across. Gets that garbage dump. Can't quite get it over to number 11. Spencer goes out of bounds. But Fisher was definitely open there on that.
Just missed it. Just missed it.
Dixon brings it up the court here. Brings it to the right, probably going to go back to the left considering Stanley's buried himself in the corner. Murphy's looking at this. Prangley comes all the way across the corner, gives it inside to Gilson. Gilson takes it, kicks it out to Dixon. Dixon, good little left, swings it back to Stanley. Stanley gets inside to Gilson in the key. Gilson gives a nice pass to Murphy, who sinks that, a nice lane.
Is that 3 for 3 now to start this half?
3 for 3. Not a single miss by Centralia, starting off hot.
Very good start.
Garner brings it up the court, feeling the pressure from Dixon. Not too heavy, just more of a sense that he's there. Prangley gets right up in there, trying to disturb that handoff. Garner has it back at the top. Swings to the right wing. All the way to the left wing to Ruffin. Ruffin looking in the corner for Watson. You see Spencer come around. Spencer gets a little bit of a bump, doesn't quite get it. A little bit of a miscue as Murphy brings it up the court to Gilson. Gilson takes it in. Gets the and one.
Bit of a highlight there with the behind the back toss to Gilson in traffic.
Yeah, that was an excellent pass by Murphy.
Centralia's bench definitely in on that too as they all stood up to congratulate him. You got some substitutions here. Ridgway's back in, so is Hollifield. Just kidding. Watson's just now in the game. I don't know who I was calling Watson earlier. 44 is who I was. Oh, my bad. I was calling Brimhall Watson. Well, Watson just now entered the game. That's fantastic. And number 32 also entered Sampson for the first time. Or actually, Sampson had 6 points or 4 points in the first half. Gilson, pretty good on his free throws so far. Extends that and one, gets a 3-point play. Sampson takes the ball up the court. Sampson swings it right to Watson. Watson in the middle to Ruffin. Ruffin takes it in, gets tipped. Looks like they're going to call a body foul. He's definitely clean on the ball. Looks like they called that a number 4, Prangley.
That's his second.
Reference sinks that one with a high arc.
The Blazers have really come out here and blitzed them in the first half with a 57-43 lead. I should say coming out of the first half.
Risky pass there by Prangley. Pays off if they get at the corner. Try to get at the corner. Stanley decides not to take that three. Maybe he has some second thoughts about his first half where he went 3 for 10. Dixon decides to go right to the right wing with Murphy. Murphy is trying to look at inside, looking at Gilson. Gilson's trying to post up, ends up clearing out, so ooh.
The sweet crossover up top there from Murphy. Got the defender froze.
On the arm, he'll be shooting too. As Murphy goes to the line, rocking the headband. Sinks the first of 2.
Try to extend the lead back to 15 points now.
Sinks the second. We got a sub coming in. Brimhall comes in as Hollifield takes a seat. Ruffin looking to throw it in, throws it into Watson. Watson back to Ruffin. Ruffin is taking it up the court. Looking ahead, doesn't want to really go one-on-one with Dixon. Trying to find a way to get rid of it. Ends up hitting to Sampson in the left wing. Goes right to Brimhall. Brimhall back to Sampson at the top. You got Brimhall coming all the way through. They do a switch. They come back through. Oh, perfect execution by Grace Harbor on that post screen across. Can't quite finish the land there. Quick turnovers lead us back on the Chokers side of the court.
Blazers doing a good job to get back on defense after the turnover, eliminating transition buckets that they've been able to live off of in the first half.
Sampson might have taken some extra steps there. Dixon ends up getting that loose ball, brings it up the court. Murphy decides to take that shot. Nice rebound by Gilson. He puts it back.
Blazers coach is asking for a timeout before the ball is inbounded, just a second too late as they got something probably designed up in their heads.
Looks like Brimhall comes back to the top, looking right to Sampson. Sampson's looking to go to the corner for Whichfield, or Whichway. Whichway decides not, has it to Watson. Watson decides to size him up, gives it to Sampson in the right corner. Sampson takes it baseline, ends up kicking it out to Brimhall. Brimhall puts up the 3. Sinks that one for 3. Risky pass there. Dixon ends up recovering. Dixon makes sure his guys are in line. Gilson experiencing some hands-on in the paint, making sure the refs notice that he has nothing to do with that. Sampson's bringing the ball up court after that turnover. Watson wants his own.
Good
Doesn't quite get
out
it.
there from Gilson. Made that a pretty difficult shot for the offense.
Murphy gets that reach call on Brimhall. Looks like Fisher's coming back in, taking number 3, Ridgeway, out. In Gilson. Gilson puts it up. Gets the foul, he'll be shooting 2 in the line. That foul looks like it was on 44. That'd be Brimhall, his 3rd personal. Oh, 34 is actually Fisher. Just came in the game.
So early on here in the first 5 minutes, Marcus Gilson's starting to get some more touches in the offense. Definitely looks like that might be the game plan moving forward. They've extended to a 15-point lead now.
Yeah, definitely, and he's been prolific from the free throw line, only missing 1 so far.
Yeah, so even if he can't score, to continue drawing fouls will definitely at least give him a chance to shoot, which he is prolific at.
Looks like the Blazers are 4 points away from being up by 20. I don't think that was expected from the beginning of the game to have this big of a margin at this point in the game.
Only 5 minutes into this second half, and Chokers already with 4 fouls, something to keep an eye on. Blazers only have one as they've toned it down a little bit since the first half.
Maybe they backed off aggressively, so they're not playing. I noticed that they aren't playing as close on the ball handler on defense. They're giving him a little bit of extra room, playing off that a little bit.
I wonder if that pace they maintained during the first half might have took a little steam out of them going into the second half.
I think that's a more likely theory than their coach telling them not to take their foot off the gas.
Yeah.
I mean, I doubt the coach for Centralia is saying, okay, guys, we've scored enough points.
Yeah. They always want more.
Look like Ruffin here is going to throw it in. And Choker set up in some sort of press break. Getting to Sampson. Stanley backs off. It's a one-on-one with Dixon. Oh, Dixon pokes the ball out on that spin. Fantastic move by Dixon. Gets it back in right away to Watson. Back to Sampson. Sampson looks to bring it up the court. Try and get past Dixon before he has a chance. Passes it to Brimhall. Brimhall takes it to the right. Left. Spins. Puts it up. Gilson with the block there. Dixon with the rebound. Looks to get up court. Capitalize on this momentum. Stanley wants his own three. Doesn't quite get it. That would have been a backbreaker for him.
3 quick high-intensity plays from the Blazers would have really broke this one open.
Looks like Watson's coming out and Garner's coming in, as well as Sampson. I missed the other person who is currently being subbed out. Price throws it into Murphy. Murphy looks it up, decides not to take it, decides to take the 14-footer instead.
Hey, we have a 20-point game.
You know that's got to be weighted heavy on the minds of the Chokers. So Garner has it at the top, gets it inside to Ruffin. Ruffin ends up getting a difficult pass. Ends up getting hit some hands on the way through the paint. Dixon has it in the right corner now. He's looking inside to Prangley. Gets inside to Prangley. Prangley has a definite size disadvantage. Also, this is a zone that the Chokers are in right now. Trying to keep them out of the paint, forcing them to beat it from the outside since Centralia has had minimal success in regards to volume shooting. As Garner brings it up, shoots that one. Gets a nice little floater in there. Centralia turns right back around, not wanting to spend too much time getting back and forth. The official calls us to a timeout as there is something on the floor.
Got a wet spot, it appears.
I believe Ruffin actually went to the ground right there earlier.
Officials want to get that taken care of.
Don't want anybody rolling their ankles. You know, I feel like the sweeper thing should be made out of ShamWows. And I feel like ShamWows.
What else does it rhyme with?
I feel like ShamWows should be made by a company named Shazam.
Yeah,
I just feel like that'd be a good.
it's catchy.
Abracadabra, right? All the way.
Gilson gets it inbounded from Dixon. Gilson takes it all the way in to get some hands to the face. They end up both going to the ground, him and Fisher. Ruffin puts a move on Murphy. Gets away from that one. Garner takes Prangley to the left, takes him baseline, a little bit out of control. Got the block on Prangley. Coach is calling for sub. They want Ashmore in the game for Prangley because Prangley has 3. That's a lot for this part of the game. If he picked up a 4th, he'd have to sit until at least the last 5 minutes of the game. He gets it top to Spencer. Spencer wants his 3, and he gets it.
And now the Chokers coaches are calling for them to pick up the intensity and try to show some pressure in the backcourt. Now they're going to trap on the half-court line.
Dixon brings him to the paint. Decides he doesn't like what he sees. The paint's really full of blue jerseys. Ashmore brings it in. There's 3 people on him. Dixon brings it in again, inside out. Murphy had a perfect shot if he could have gathered that ball. Instead, he ends up converting on the inside from a 15-footer. Garner's bringing the ball up now. Centralia bringing it up. Price brings the pressure. There is the wet spot that we had noticed earlier that Price ended up slipping on.
Last possession, it appeared Murphy's headband got knocked loose and found it uncomfortable and
I think
tossed into the
Price might
stands.
be hurt.
Price is looking up to the side here. As we hope it's just a temporary thing for Price, and we hope he'll be back in the game soon, as he's an important part of Centralia's game plan. The officials really making sure they get it clean now. With the sham wow.
Didn't work the first time.
You got Brimhall getting the inbound. Spencer looking to call it in the corner. He wants him to go out. Look at Hoff sniffs that play out, goes up to the top with Brimhall. Goes back to Garner on the right. Garner looking around, trying to get the grip of where his team's at and what they're trying to do. You have Ruffin in the high post, and you have Fisher in the short corner each of them both trying to post up, so you have a little bit of an issue there. Two people trying to post up in the same general area. This one inbounds the ball to Dixon. Dixon passes across to Murphy, who is now without a headband. Back to Dixon. Dixon looks across. You have a lot of defenders guarding that ball. Left it wide open for Hoff to hit that three. Centralia keeping the heat up, keeping Hoff and Dixon up high.
And back to a 20-point lead.
72 points, and we still have 10 minutes left in this half.
Gilson immediately hopping up, looked like he didn't like the call on that one.
Looks like we got a block on Gilson, giving Ruffin 2 at the line.
That is his third. Something to keep an eye on with 11:51 to go.
Yeah, I'm curious if, well, actually, Hoff came back in and he had 3, so they'll probably let him play out with 3. Probably won't sub him out. Ruffin misses on his first. Ruffin looks to go 1 for 2, and he does. Gilson gets it in and out fast, up the side of the court. Left to Gilson. Gilson gets it back to Dixon. Ooh, that was a difficult throw. Gets to Hoff. Hoff brings it in, decides to put his own leg, gets it a second touch to put it off the glass to land inside the net. Garner throws it into Ruffin. Garner is going up the court, throws it left to Brimhall. Brimhall is now sinking to the right as they get it to the center of the floor for Ruffin. Brimhall wants his own 3. It's short.
Looked like that might have been tipped there from Dixon.
Dixon has the ball again, bringing it up. Gets it to Murphy. Murphy brings it in. A lot of bodies on the floor here. That's a lot of sweat on the floor, and everybody's down. We got the foul here on the sideline call here. Looks like it's going to be on Brimhall here. Looks like they called a trip. Must have hit his hand as he was reaching for the ball. His hand hit his foot.
Barnes and Watson are back in for Grace Harbor.
Maybe they need to switch to a new brand of ShamWow. Dixon waiting to inbound the ball as the dedicated ShamWow runners. I can't.
Sham, why not?
Are trying to clean up the rest of the sweat on the floor. They definitely want to make sure it's cleaned up because of what happened to Price.
Who has, by the way, rejoined his team on the bench. We all hope that's nothing too serious.
Oh man, we got Murphy now in there working to get it cleaned up. Murphy's showing some elbow grease up there.
Now that's how you handle a ShamWow. And he gets an applaud from the audience.
Dixon looking to get the ball into Gilson. Gilson has it at the top right wing. Gilson gives it back to Dixon. Dixon takes all the way across, gets a screen, looking for a pick and roll. Oh, they can't bring it up. Oh, man. Decides to take it himself as Garner now has the ball. Gets it back to Watson. Watson bringing it up the court. Watson gets it back to Barnes. Barnes looks into the middle for Ruffin. Ruffin looks around, sizing up his guy, feels the help, decides to take it left. Ends up going with a, oh man, got his own rebound off the glass. Talk about a quick second jump. Now Dixon brings up the floor. Goes across the court to Murphy. Sorry about that. Hoff splits that double team. Finds Ashmore on a no-look pass underneath the hoop for
Murphy
an easy
just
lane.
powered his way through that, didn't he?
It's certainly a timeout call-worthy play. They get some momentum going here.
As the lead now has been extended to 21 points for the Blazers. With 10 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the second half.
It's also good to know that number 44 has 4 fouls.
Brimhall.
And Brimhall seems to have no fear when shooting the 3, so he must have some success in that in the past. Just hasn't dropped for him today. As the refs try and get the teams back on the floor so they can get going. Coach McMillan still on the floor, walking to the ref. Watson inbounds it to Garner. Garner feels the pressure, gives it to Watson. Now get back to Barnes. Barnes decides to take it across half court. Looks like they're trying to get a play they drew up during that timeout. Gets it back to Ruffin. Ruffin sends it to the corner to Garner. Garner wants his own 3, and it's a little bit short. Bounces. Hoff gets the ball, sends it up the left lane with Murphy. Murphy's taking it in. He doesn't know if he wants to take it all the way. Gets it back on the Dixon, setting it up. Hoff sees a little hole. Ooh, finds another fantastic pass to Gilson down the left block.
They're just picking this defense apart now in this.
They are really moving with some rhythm now.
Barnes has it at the top of the key, decides to take it inside, goes to the left corner again. That seems to be a theme here. Gets out to Spencer. Spencer hit one earlier. Can't get this one dropped for him. Dixon takes up the court, goes left to Murphy. Murphy left to Hoff in the corner. Hoff has a difficult pass. Crowd wants a tip, coach wants a tip. Looks like it's gonna stay Choker's ball. No definitive evidence to get that turned over. Gets it out to Barnes. Barnes back to Ruffin. Ruffin is surprisingly involved in this press break. It's kind of fantastic. Garner takes it right. All the way to Barnes. Barnes in the middle to Ruffin. Ruffin decides to size up and hit that. Now Dixon brings it up the right side of the court, gets back across the court, left to Hoff. Now back to Dixon. Dixon back again to Hoff, back and forth. Those passes can get risky with all those hands. A little bit of a fight for the ball there, and now we got an easy bucket here. No dunk though. A little bit disappointed in that.
Yeah, he was wide open.
Now we have Murphy bring up the right side. He's probably going to go back across the court to Dixon as there is pressure right at the half-court line. Murphy gathers the ball, takes it inside. Not quite. I think that was off the foot.
Yep, that was almost a kick.
It's going to be another easy dump-off pass there to Gilston as he ran baseline. Another easy 2 points for him if that wasn't kicked.
Agreed.
That would have been a fortunate pass if kickballs weren't a thing here either, because they landed right in the hands of the shooter in the corner.
That would have added a whole other element to the game if you could use your feet. Price has the ball. They're trying to get out the corner to Hoff. End up getting the slip for Gilson. Gilson draws the foul. Again, he goes to the free throw line where he's made his living this second half. Coach Jason for Centralia pulls his team over for a little powwow, trying to get them all to stay on the same page. Gilson right here to attempt the first one. Sinks it. He's only missed 1 free throw on the day. That is pretty good numbers right there. They send Hoff in to get that rebound because of his quickness. It's a wise move. See if you can outmaneuver Watson down there on the right block. You get the ball back to Gilson. Gilson's about to go trying to keep it at just a 1 miss for the night. Doesn't. Gets his 2nd miss of the night, but he still has really good numbers right now. I think he's shooting above 75% from the free throw line.
Well, in the first half, he went 4 for 5.
And I think he's had 6 free throws this time. He's only missed 1, so putting him at 10 for 11, or not 10 for 11. That math is a little bit off.
At least 2 misses.
Barnes brings up the court. Trying to find a place to go. He's taking it all the way down. Ends up getting a nice pass to Fisher, but gets tipped. Almost was a nice pass. Got a kick ball there.
Starting to become a theme here.
Just another couple inches from another fantastic layup in transition.
We put some soccer nets up. Price has the ball. They're looking to get it to Hoff on the outside. They slip it to Ashmore. Ashmore has a great catch. Gathered that ball really well to finish that lane. Garner calls off his screen, saying he can take it himself as he takes up the right side, all the way up to Hollifield, who just came back in the game. In the middle to Fisher. Fisher sizing up Gilson, decides he can take him, decides to get right in his body, and gets the and one. That was a great job by Fisher to draw that foul. Going right into the chest, through the nostrils, as the coaches say.
Looks like we're going to get Murphy back in for Dixon, for the Blazers. And Prangley in for Gilson.
Yeah, they're gonna sit Gilson because he has 4 fouls.
It's probably a wise idea at this point.
I think with a 20-point lead, might just take a rest on the bench for a while here.
Yeah, you don't want to overplay your best players if you don't have to. I mean, it's a long season. So we got Price, decides to put it up. Price has been pretty reliable with those 15-footers. Fisher is tall, but not quite that tall.
That was almost a Hail Mary.
Look at all these mixed sport
analogies here, yeah.
Price brings the ball up the right side, gets it right in the middle to Hoff. Hoff gathers it, gets it to Ashmore. Ashmore is looking around, decides to take a baseline, gets it to Prangley. Prangley does a nice little hook. Can't quite. Hoff jumps over. Wow, that was impressive. Impressive hops from Hoff there.
I'll tell you, Hoff does not let his size get in his way at all.
No, Hoff is only knocking in. They actually have him in at 6'1", which it doesn't seem accurate, but
it doesn't.
I mean,
he seems a little shorter than that, but either way, he's clearly shorter than the other guys. He's not letting that affect him at all.
He's playing like he's 6'5".
Yeah.
Murphy has the ball at the top, goes right to Ashmore. Ashmore is by himself, decides not to take the 3. Price decides it's his.
And there we go.
We got Barnes taking the ball up the court for the Chokers here. Barnes goes left to Garner, giving Garner a little break. It looks like Garner's had a lot of the ball handling for the first half. Probably getting a little break. Fisher sizes him up. Looks like it's going to be Centralia's ball after all those tips. Price is going to inbound the ball.
7 minutes to go here. And the Blazers at 84. You think they can hit that triple-digit mark before the final buzzer?
I mean, I hope so.
Wouldn't that be something?
It'd be great to see a game that went over into the triple digits. It's never good to be the team that gets scored the triple digits on, but it is something to see. Murphy ends up kicking out right, and then Hoff decides to take his own 3. The bench is really into that, already standing despite the miss. Barnes kicks it up to Hollifield. Hollifield is taking it in, decides to back off. Goes all the way across the court to Garner. Garner gets it back to Hollifield in the left corner. Gets it into Fisher. Fisher notices a mismatch, but there's a lot of hands. Takes a right hook right in the paint.
Brings it back to a 20-point lead.
The coaches for the Grace Harbor really trying to push pressure as that lane does not land. Oh, I might have been out of bounds there. Not 100% sure there from this angle. Barnes brings up to the left. Gets Price to go up a little bit. Tips in the air, gets the tip for himself for Price. Price brings it up the left side of the court. Looks like Centralia is trying to say slow down, control the tempo, it looks like. Murphy is getting a screen on the left from Ashmore. Ashmore slips that screen, kicks it out left to Prangley. Prangley goes in, draws a foul. Not sure who they're going to call that on. It was a pretty rough drive there. 23, they're going to call that in Gardner. Looks like it's just on the arm.
I don't see any sign of him slowing down, regardless of instructions to do so.
We got a timeout for Grace Harbor. At the rate they've been scoring, I would not be surprised if the Blazers hit triple digits, unless they decide to pull the foot off the gas pedal.
That would be definitely a very advantageous way to begin their season, especially with another team in their own division.
Yeah, certainly having a confidence booster like that going into another game.
Speaking of that, Centralia looks like, just like they play the same schedules as the women's basketball, but their next home game will be against South Puget Sound, but they're going to travel down to Lower Columbia College, take on their next opponent. And so that will be an interesting one, and scoring triple digits will it's nice to go into a game after you just scored triple digits.
Yeah, that helps everybody walk a little taller, I think.
Looks like this is a full timeout.
And at this point, 20-point lead and 5.5 to go. It's a good opportunity to be able to just run your sets almost, not necessarily carefree, but not be so tense and be in a close situation where you can almost get some on-the-court practice.
Absolutely. I think they definitely are comfortable with their lead at this point and want to see that clock go down as much as possible while they maintain it.
I'm curious if under 5 minutes that the Centralia Centralia students who have been sitting on the bench most of the game are going to get a chance to come in and get to show their stuff with this large of a lead.
Yeah, I think they will probably all get a chance at this point.
Franklin hits the first, misses the second as Ruffin gets the rebound. Hits it to Barnes. Barnes brings it up the court. Gives it to Garner. Garner has it. Looks like he's trying to set him up, but picks it up a little bit too soon. Has a little bit of grit there. Gets it to Ruffin. Fisher's trying to sit on the inside. Fisher with a little hook shot. Looks like Grace Harbor is just now taking advantage of that size differential.
That's 8 fouls on the chokers now.
That puts us in the 1-on-1. One in a bonus. Looks like Prangley is going to be the shooter for this one.
Not surprising that it's Prangley on the floor again as he gets to go for a potential 2 free throws if he hits the first one here.
And again, they have Hoff in the block trying to outspeed Ruffin there. Prangley hits the first, gets his bonus. They have Murphy on the other side as well.
Yeah, 2 of the fastest guys on the team. Not that they'll be needed at that moment.
Indeed, he sinks both as Barnes brings the ball back up court for the chokers. Sees the guy inside, trying to feed it to Fisher because he's had a lot of success.
Wow. Once again, height not applying to this guy.
Price sizing up his guy, trying to get a screen to the left. Sees the roll, misses the pass, gets it across the court to Hoff. Hoff passes it to Murphy in the left corner, and he drops it. Murphy with the 3, gets it out to Garner, then back to Barnes, and I anticipated they're going to try and get it into Fisher at the best they can, as soon as they can.
Yeah,
They need to make success.
They need to make something happen here.
All right, Price had it all the way up behind most of the defenders, but decides to pull up. Gets to Murphy. Ashmore saying the same thing again. They're trying to look for that slip, but there's some great help side there. It's not there no matter what they do. Hucks it across the court to Price. Price finds Prangley. Prangley in for the lay-in.
What happens when defense gets too spread out? And again, another steal here.
Also, they were going pretty hard on that double team. That means somebody can't be covered.
As a foul's drawn there for another 1-and-1. Another stat that we didn't quite emphasize at half, but is really definitely becoming even more separated is at the halftime, Grace Harbor only had 1 steal while Centralia had 7. Similar to the women's game where there was that giant separation. And it feels like that trend has continued on this half as well.
It's definitely reflective of the score on the board.
7 away from triple digits with 4 minutes left. All right, Murphy sinks the second as well. He's 2 for 2 there.
That will take it to a 26-point lead, which is the highest of the game so far.
Dixon comes in for Murphy as Murphy goes to the bench. It's got to be the fact he doesn't have his headband. Ruffin getting his guys in order. Ruffin touches it into Gardner, then back to Ruffin. Ruffin decides to take it to the court against Hoff. It's a brave move. Passes it across the court to Garner. Garner in the left wing. Trying to get it over there to Watson, trying to get Fisher sat down. He's got him in there, can't quite look in there. As Watson dribbles in and gets to Fisher. Looks like Hoff got him with the hands there. A little bit too aggressive on Hoff's part.
Yeah, but regardless of the score, they are not stopping on defense. They are highly aggressive, going for the ball at all costs.
You got Fisher really shoving in there to get that position. Gets the ball, fights for it, ends up drawing the foul. That was a lot of pushing and shoving down there.
Yeah, there certainly is. As we boil down to under 4 minutes, I think we can probably expect to see a little more, getting a little choppy.
Michael Brown has entered the game for Nathan Hoff. Michael Brown having a little bit of one-on-one with the coach over here on the sideline while Fisher hits this next, misses this free throw, my bad. Dixon brings it up the court.
And Brown's
Get
ready,
the price.
and he's got
Brown got to touch the ball, that was good. Oh, Mike calls for it in the corner, gets it back to Prangley. Prangley inside to Ashmore, ends up getting poked away.
It's a great play setup. Once again, found a guy wide open in the post, just couldn't quite grab that one.
Looks like Donovan Iman has come into the game for Prangley. Like we said earlier, under the 4-minute mark, it looks like is what the coach is waiting for, to put in those players that don't usually get a whole lot of playing time. Michael Brown playing some solid defense here on Garner, moving his feet. Ashmore up there on defense. Iman using his height. Not sure they can call the foul on his body on both of those defenders.
Fouls beginning to even out now as the Blazers are up to 8 fouls in the quarter.
Yeah, that was on Iman, who's just come in, who at 6'8" is the tallest guy on the court this evening.
Iman is actually from Alaska, which is an interesting recruitment. Not a whole lot of players come from Alaska. And Grace Harbor actually has one from Alaska as well. From Anchorage, Joseph, but we actually haven't seen him in the game today. Ruffin hits the second. Iman gets it into Dixon, and back to Iman, then across to Price. Price looking to the corner from Michael Brown. Michael Brown puts it up and misses. Oh man, his whole bench wanted that to drop.
Yeah, they shot up like there was something wrong with their seats.
Watson here, getting ready to take this inbound. Gets it into Garner. Garner goes to the left to Ruffin. He takes it the left lane. Michael Brown playing some defense on Ruffin. Gets it inside to Fisher. Fisher outside to the right wing to Garner. Garner back inside to Fisher against Iman. Iman's got the height, but he didn't move his feet. So Fisher able to do a drop step right around him. Iman gets it inbounded. Ends up getting it to Stanley on the half-court line, but back to Dixon anyways. Oh, I didn't see this gentleman come in the game. 44. Harding. I missed that substitution.
Out of Utah. It's one of the few out-of-state guys. We have a few from Utah, actually.
Yeah, just look at that. Salt Lake City and I don't even want to try and say that.
Ogden.
Ogden. Harding decides not to go over. It gets to Stanley. Stanley to Brown. Brown decides to take it in there. Decides to kick back out to Stanley. Stanley kind of run the show there with Dixon, getting these bench players in position. Dixon brings it in, ends up getting some hand in there, so he's unable to finish that. Dixon's bringing it in. The ball's in live right now. They're running short on time. They got to get this ball in fast. That 5-second call. Oh, there we go. He gets out before then. Michael Brown takes it inside. He ends up getting called for a travel as he sends the ball underneath the rim and through for a reverse basket. Ridgeway throws it into Garner. Garner's bringing it up the court. Signals for Watson to go down the floor because he wants to take Michael Brown one-on-one. A little bit of test on Michael's ability. He stops him. Oh, but Harding gets caught sleeping as Fisher posts up on him getting a nice easy basket, or easy look at the basket. They decided to bring in the ShamWow man.
How many times are we up to ShamWow tonight?
That's the one statistic I don't have, actually.
Fisher bricks it off the back. Looking to get a nice softer touch on this one, I bet. Michael Brown sitting in the back of the court, cherry picking. Oh my goodness. Iman gets the ball, decides to take it in, kicks it in the corner for Brown. Brown puts it up. Ends up not being doesn't drop for him.
And everybody wants him to get one of those to just go down.
It's true. You can feel the bench does, the crowd does. It's what they want to happen. Ridgeway to throw it in. He tosses it into Garner. Garner sizes up Michael Brown again. Let's see if Mike can play some good defense like he did last time. Turns and runs, pokes it out. Fantastic move by Mike. Again, Harding gets found sleeping, but this time on Ruffin instead of Fisher. Watson doesn't want to take the ball in. Just kidding. He is taking the ball in. Looking to the left, looks for Garner, can't find it. Ends up slipping it by Harding to Ruffin. Ruffin puts a nice move, ends up getting blocked by Iman. Turns around, Dixon going down the floor. Looks to Mike, Mike's puts up a three. And he gets it. The crowd is going wild.
Now at 97 to 73.
The Chokers, though, they were not waiting to celebrate. They brought the ball right back down the court, drew the foul, and they're going to be going to the line.
Blazers are at 10 fouls now.
Bench is going crazy over here on Centralia's side. All smiles coming from there.
It looks like they're trying to ask Michael Brown to do a little bit of a celebration dance. He's having none of it.
Not yet, but they are 3 points away from that triple-digit mark.
1 minute, 24 seconds to hit that triple digit. Ruffin here to put this up. He sinks it. Ruffin has been pretty solid from the free throw line today. The first half, Ruffin was 7 for 8, living at the free throw line. Dixon to Iman. Iman across the court to Michael Brown. Ends up getting off the foot. I think they're going to call a foul on that.
He's going to send Brown to the line.
So he gets an opportunity to shoot some free throws. Hopefully he can sink these. I can only imagine the ridicule he'll get from his teammates.
Yeah, they have so been looking forward to see him shoot.
It's kind of nice when you can get the first one to go down after waiting all night.
Mike drops it.
Kind of takes a bit of the pressure off.
It's the loudest applause we've heard for a free throw all evening.
It's true. Brown almost loses the ball. Sinks the second one.
It doesn't matter.
And we're at 99 to 75.
Man, we need one more point for that triple digit. Garner takes it in, decides to put up himself. Ooh, can't quite get it to fall. Fisher wrestling for the ball. Iman gets it. A lot of hands everywhere. Stanley comes back to get that ball. Ends up going across the court to Dixon. Dixon looks up the court. I can't tell if he's trying to get somebody the ball. Yeah, now it looks like they're trying to get Harding the ball. Harding does a fantastic post move to get around the guy with a drop step. With some soft touch off the glass to get that to fall.
And now they've done it at 101.
Triple digits in the last minute of the game.
Ridgeway to Fisher. Fisher on the perimeter seems kind of out of his zone. And then Ruffin to finish that one.
Even though they're enjoying these last few minutes, coach was not happy with that last defensive possession.
Regardless of the lead, Centralia shows no signs of slowing down.
Dixon here looking for Harding. Harding down in the paint, ends up not getting it. I think they're trying to find Iman in the paint now. Getting everybody a shot. Takes it again, gets his own rebound. Gets stripped though. Ridgeway takes it up the court, passes forward to Ruffin. Ruffin looking to get some shots up. As Garner hits that three from deeper than normally. off Dixon's foot. He's stuck in a trap. He's got to try and get out of this. He plays strong though, gets it out to Peyton, and then Peyton throws the Iman.
And that'll do it.
And that will be the end of the game. That concludes this game. Blazers 101. The Chokers 80.
Definitely a great start to the season for Centralia.
So I'll definitely take this confidence booster of 101 points into their game Saturday against the Red Devils in Longview at LCC.
Indeed, and as you can see, the players are all smiles after that one.
Oh, definitely, and it's always great, especially if you're going to break triple digits, to do it in front of a home audience. You know,
definitely.
I mean, that makes it that much sweeter.
We'll have the post-game stats up for you here in just a moment. But besides the high-scoring game and all smiles here in the second half, what did you guys think about this tonight?
I really liked the aggressiveness and the speed from Centralia. I think they, again, even though they had the height disadvantage, they just kept pushing. Clearly had a lot of hunger to win this one at home, and they came away with it.
I think a really positive sign was the bench play from Centralia was fantastic. Their sixth man and even their seventh and eighth man that came off that bench definitely played as if they were a starter and were able to keep that momentum going.
All right, we're going to take a look at some of the stats now.
And so Centralia's leading scorer actually ends up being Murphy with 17 points, closely followed by Gilson with 16, and him closely followed by Prangley with 15. And again, great bench production by Hoff and Ashmore, each notching 12 and 13 of their own from that as well. Grace Harbor's lead scorer was Ruffin with 25 points. He definitely also attempted a lot of free throws today. 16 free throws, converted on 13 of those, ended up getting 13 of his 25 from free throws alone, and he just hit 6 field goals from around the paint. And we have as well, like we were pointing out earlier, the rebounding war ended up becoming a closer gap, which is why I think it was as big of a margin of victory as it was. Having Grace Harbor at 39 and Centralia able to shrink that gap from 10 to just a mere 7 difference at 32.
Total fouls will be personal fouls, at least 21 Centralia and 20 for Grays Harbor. Definitely a little choppy out there this evening.
Another thing that was pretty interesting, both teams attempted 30 free throws, and Grace Harbor hit 25 of those, and Centralia hit 23. So free throws were fairly even tonight.
I think that's what ended up getting Gilson in the game, really. If they'd managed to shut him down with the exception of the free throws, and that's, I think, where the majority of his points ended up coming from.
So you were right earlier. He shot above 75% from the free throw line. He went 8 for 10 tonight. And Prangley also went 7 for 11, and Murphy was 4 for 4. Off the bench, Michael Brown hit 2, and Hoff went 2 for 3.
Another interesting thing that jumps out to me is Peyton Stanley's stat line from the first half. He went 3 for 10 from the three-point line and only attempted 1 three-pointer in the second half. It might have been because they didn't need that three-point boost, but it also might be a confidence issue. I'm curious to see how that plays out this Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. I think they probably took away the green light after that second half, just to make sure that the rebounds didn't get out of control.
And of course, we have to recognize the at the very end of the game there, you had the players who typically rode the bench. They come in here and they scored some points. Michael Brown scored some points, and you had Harding who scored some points as well. And that's just a really positive sign for Centralia to have their bench players come up and still be able to perform.
Iman came out defensively and had at least one good block. He might have had a couple more I can't think of, but he was definitely a presence down low there at the end.
Especially on defense, absolutely, yes. Well, also being the tallest man on the court, I think that was the role they expected for him to play there in the very end of the game.
So Centralia will move on to 11-5 on the season, 1-0 in league play. Grays Harbor falls to 8-7 on their season, and they're 0-1 at the start of their league play. Next game is Saturday night against LCC. Anything else, guys?
I think that does it for us this evening.
Fantastic game.
Indeed. Have a good night.